What's the matter, Charlie? The CIA got you pushing too many pencils? Just I thought Predator Arnold.
Oh, right, yeah,
Killer of
yeah.
Killers. Yeah.
Stick around.
And of course we've got the consequences.
Loving husband.
We are back. It's the Full Fat Podcast, and this week we've got two fairly, I'd say, mid to good entries in two franchises we really love. It's kind of like,
yeah.
It's a podcast of two
Oh, you
halves.
spoiled it already. Might as well
Yeah,
send it in here.
yeah, you don't need to watch it. Yeah.
We could have edged them. We could have been like, what do we think?
Contrary to last week, where we fucking hated Doctor Who, and many of you out there actually watched that episode, and thank you very much.
Thank you.
We hated that, and that's a long-running franchise that we're into. This is more, in the case of Predator and John Wick, two franchises we love that I actually think are pretty consistent by and large. There's very few bad movies. Well, I guess between both of them, there's no bad John Wick movies.
No.
Predator's
a bit more questionable, but...
Well, you know,
we can dive into
Should we
this.
start Predator?
Let's start Predator. Yeah. Let's do it.
That's because the comparisons we can get into more when we talk about Ballerina.
Yeah.
Predator, in terms of the background on where we feel about the franchise, I think there's more good Predator movies than bad ones. I actually think, Predator is like one of the seminal action movies of all time. Fantastic film.
Top notch.
Top notch. If someone said to me that's my favourite action film of all time, I'm like, yep, I get it. Top tier Arnold. It was literally pitched as like Rocky in space, wasn't it? It was like Rocky versus an alien.
Yeah. He was gonna fight. What was it a kung fu fighting Jean-Claude Van Damme Predator, wasn't he? First, and then great movie, great Shane Black script. Shane Black's in there.
Shane Black's in it. Yeah, iconic creature design.
John McTiernan was killing it as well back then.
Well, also James Cameron suggested the mandibles to Stan Winston.
Just all the minds.
In
one.
It's a melting pot. Carl Weathers, those biceps.
Oh my god,
rip.
Is there a better physique than Carl Weathers?
I don't think so.
Like, Arnold's obviously like, he's Arnold, right? But in terms of like, Carl Weathers is just fucking.
Well, he had the size, but also like there was a kind of
athleticism,
a convex and a shape to him that was just. Rest in peace, man. Rest in peace. And consistently the best thing, The Mandalorian.
Oh yeah.
That's Apollo Creed right there. All right.
Apollo Creed.
Put some respect on his goddamn name. Jesse Ventura. Ain't got time to bleed.
He is so charismatic in that movie.
Fantastic.
Just like that whole scene on the plane when you get to know all the guys. Such a great scene. I mean, we're talking about Predator. We need to talk about the new one.
Well, it's a multi-layered movie as well. Like it's about Vietnam. Like they send the American troops in against an enemy they think they're vastly overprepared for, and it turns out they're vastly underprepared, and they get their asses handed to them. It's kind of a breakdown of masculinity in action movies as well.
100%. I don't know why I said Shane Black script, because the Shane Black script version isn't very good. Well,
you've seen Predator 2, haven't you?
Yeah.
You like Predator 2?
I think it's alright.
I think Predator 2 is okay. The second half is electric. And saves it.
Yeah.
Predators, I think both agree, underrated.
Well, this is one of those ones I need to watch again, but when we rewatched it, I remember seeing the cinema, I didn't like it.
I agree.
Then we rewatched it, was it during COVID, I think? Lockdown?
I think it was just before COVID.
Just before COVID.
Just before, yeah.
And we were like, oh, wait a minute, this has got some cool stuff. I still think, there's still things that bother me in that I think it should be the best Predator movie. And it isn't, and that bothers me. But there is some cool stuff in it.
The premise of killers from all over the world being poached on an alien planet by a team of predators is the single greatest Predator premise of the franchise.
Ever. 100%.
And because of that, it can only kind of disappoint from there.
Yes.
But I do think, I agree with you. I was underwhelmed in the cinema back when we were like 15 when it came out. Yeah. When I rewatched it, and I've rewatched it since for like a Predator ranking video I did. I do enjoy it, and I do think it's underrated. I think it's better than I remember it to be.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do think as well it's actually, behind the first Predator movie, it's the best cast Predator movie of all time. You've got Adrian Brody, you've got Alice Braga, you've got Lawrence Fishburne as like the nutty survivor. Yeah. Also, you've got Walton Goggins as the death row inmate. Topher Grace, who everyone's like, spoilers, why is he with us? He's not a killer. Turns out he's a serial killer.
Yeah.
Great reveal. Yeah. Also, some great Predators in there. Great Predator action. You've got a Yakuza versus Predator sword fight. Yeah. Like, underrated to me.
Okay.
You know. But I do agree with you that, like, it should be in the conversation for like the best Predator movie of all time.
It's not. Yeah, it's not. Yeah, I agree.
Then we got the AVPs, which I think we can park to one side for a bit. Let's talk about the pure Predator movies. Yeah. Prey, I really enjoy.
Yep.
But I just think it's a very safe, not quite Force Awakens Predator, but it's like you're doing the first movie in a new setting, like what Predator 2 did. You know, and I think we'd been starved of that for so long because of the terrible Shane Black The Predator.
Oh god, yeah.
Which is so bad.
Terrible.
So bad.
Yeah.
I always get like PTSD when I'm reminded that there's a big Predator in it.
Oh god.
Big Predator. That's what we need to push the franchise forward. Just a big Predator.
Well, you say that, but we get a big Predator in this.
Yeah, but we'll get to that. I think that's very different. But
I do agree with you. I do agree with you, but I just wanted to. Yeah.
This is just like a massive, ludicrously large Predator that still has like its tech and stuff.
Yeah, the thing that was weird about that one was that it's kind of like if you got a Predator and just went, zoop, you know what I mean? Like, whereas the League, obviously in this one,
you dragged the corners on Photoshop and just like
stretched it. Whereas obviously like well, we'll get into it a bit more, but the Killer of Killers one is like more of a hulking looking.
Yeah, it's more of like, and it also as well, like I think it's we're going all over the place as usual, but I really like that in Killer of Killers, the design of each Predator is really distinct. You've got like the slim, lean Predator in the Ninja era.
Yeah.
Then you've got like a fucking fantastic design of the bald Predator in the ship with the eye patch, like a pirate Predator.
Yeah, that's cool.
And they've all got different builds. And then, as you say, that Predator is a more of Hulk-like, a bit more like a Bane Predator, like a big Predator. But like, it's not a big Predator in the same way. The Shane Black one is like... It's just silly the way it's like he's crawling around on all fours, just grabbing predators like it's like a
it's so silly,
like it's King Kong. Whereas like this is just like it's just a wall of predator, like a massive predator.
Isn't there dog predators as well in the Predator, the Shane Black Predator?
There is, and there are a worse version of the dog predators in Predators.
Oh yes,
because in Predators,
yeah,
they're just alien dogs that they have trained.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
In The Predator, they've got predators' faces.
Oh, yeah, they do.
It's literally the equivalent of, like, our dogs having human faces.
Yeah.
Like, why would they have that?
Makes no sense, yeah.
Oh, it's so lame.
Yeah.
Such a shame. You want to know if somebody fucked an alien? Yep. Get it out. Kill it with fire. That to me is the only terrible Predator movie.
Yeah.
Prey's got some fantastic action.
Yes, definitely.
And it made us trust in Dan Trachtenberg, who is the director of Predator Killer of Killers and the upcoming Predator Badlands.
Yes.
And I think it's safe to say Predator and Alien are in a good state. And they're probably the only Disney franchise that Disney have acquired that they haven't like messed up in some way.
I just can't believe that somehow they're kind of back.
They're slowly weaving back together, aren't they?
It's weird. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's like it's weird that it kind of looks like we're in, hopefully, so far in the close future, we're getting, that they are coming back. The future is kind of bright. It's kind of bright for these franchises. Which, if you'd asked me this 10 years ago, I'd been like, "What are you talking about?"
Particularly, 7 years ago after The Predator, I thought, "Oh, this franchise is dead.
Yeah,
this franchise is really dead."
Yeah.
And then. We obviously, we've said a few times, we're Covenant enjoyers.
We are, yeah.
But a lot of people don't like Covenant, and Alien was not really in a great state. Yeah. They did Force Awakens Alien.
Yeah.
In more than they Force Awakens Predator.
Yes, I agree.
But I love that Dan Trachtenberg, like, the question on everyone's lips was, is there going to be a Prey 2? And he's like, no, that's not what you need from me. What you need from me is, we've done the safe Predator movie that was very good, but now we're going to push it in uncharted territory. You're going to get the Predator as a main character. You're going to get the Predator in the future. You're going to get another soft alien crossover with the synthetic Weyland-Yutani, Elle Fanning.
So exciting.
Yeah, like, I've everything on paper about that and everything from the trailer, I'm like, yes, this is where I want Predator to go. Just try something different.
I agree.
But I do appreciate that as well. I feel like Killer of Killers has kind of come around because we're doing something different when we're doing an animated Predator movie, which is cool in itself. But I also think it's like, for the people that are going to bitch and moan, like, I want to see a Predator in a different time period hunting humans, and that's not what Badlands is going to be in November. Well, because you don't get that, you're getting this in the summer. This is a bit more of a traditional Predator movie in 3 chunks.
It's very clever.
And then it kind of comes to something a bit different at the end.
Yeah, it's very clever to do that. We were saying that when I was watching it, we were like, it's clever that they've basically gone, all right, you fans, you wanted the samurai era. You wanted to see it in the Viking era. You want to see it in World War II. How's it going to look?
Yep,
all right, let's put those 3 together. And
you basically get an episode of each, don't you?
yes, yeah.
But then there's also an added element. Well, again, full spoilers. Something I really liked was when they announced this was an anthology. I did think it was kind of a bit of a gimmick saying there's 2 Predator films coming out this year, because one of them is an anthology on streaming.
Yeah.
Like, if you just said to me 2 theatrical released Predator films are coming out, and one of them was animated, one of them was live action, I'd be like, whoa.
Yeah.
But obviously, it always diminishes it a little bit when you bring it out straight to streaming. I would have seen this in the cinema.
Yeah.
But particularly when they said anthology, I was like, oh, so could this have been a Predator miniseries, really? And I still think after I have finished watching it, could have been 4 episodes.
I agree. Yeah.
Could have been each time period and then the finale that we'll get to.
Yeah.
But I do appreciate at the same time that it is a theatrical film, that it is a film, a motion picture. You know what I mean? A one narrative.
Yeah.
Where are we going here? What are we doing, Matt? Just brain farting. I like that it tries to be one narrative. There is a soft narrative throughout, isn't there, that then comes together.
Yes.
It wasn't just what I thought it was going to be, in that it's like, here's one episode, here's another episode, and now we've bolted the 3rd episode on, now here's the credits. Like, it does funnel to
does tie it all together,
Yeah.
which I enjoyed and was kind of exciting whilst watching it, to be like, oh, how are they going to make these 3
Yes.
stories align, being in such different times.
Although what I think's interesting is, I really like they did that, but then also kind of what I think I didn't like about it is kind of in the back half. But should we go through?
Let's go through.
So the 3 different stories. There's 3 different Predators. There's the hulking Predator in the Viking era.
Yep.
I feel like you're led to believe that the kid's going to be the protagonist. It ends up being the mum,
Yeah.
which I liked.
I like that.
Kid gets squashed, and that then sort of informs her arc later on when she sees the other 2 survivors, the young men, as her sort of son, her surrogate sons. And I really like at the end that she's like, "Don't avenge me." She kind of breaks that Viking tradition because she realizes it's about survival. It's not about tradition or code. It's about getting out.
Yeah.
I liked all that stuff with her. In the second story, it's the 2 brothers, isn't it?
Yep.
That kind of on different sides of the line end up facing each other and then fighting together, kind of reconciling through fighting a predator.
Yeah.
Which again is a really nicely done.
Cool idea.
None of these sections were particularly deep, but I think they were just enough to get you invested in the characters. But they were really sort of like a delivery system for the action.
I agree. And then I think the 3rd story, for me, I don't know how you feel, has some of the best action scenes, funny enough, I think, out of the whole movie. But I found it personally to be the weakest plot of the 3. I found the emotional connection of that not as strong as the previous 2.
I agree.
And then I think that becomes a little bit disappointing when you get into the later half of the movie, where you sort of revealed that this guy is sort of our protagonist, really, out of the 3.
The World War One. Is it 1 or 2? The World War guy.
Is it John Torres? Torres?
Yeah, something Torres.
Torres, yeah.
Torres, because he's the one that speaks English and he's a bit more modern, when we take these 2 period characters, when we reveal they've all been cryogenically frozen to fight each other in front of the Predators in sort of like a tournament, which is an awesome idea.
Very cool idea, yeah.
Because the other 2 aren't speaking English because they come from a certain time and a place.
Yeah.
He kind of slips into becoming the protagonist.
Yes.
He's kind of what it all hangs on.
Yeah.
And I do find stylistically it goes a bit more like, I don't want to say like Marvel, but it goes a bit more like quipping. It goes a bit more like what I imagine Shane Black would do if he made the Predator 2.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Where like he's kind of being like, "Whoa, God, oh God, guys, we got company," and like
he's got that Peter Parker kind of feel about him.
And I didn't love that.
No,
I didn't love when he got eaten by the big monster. And we were watching it with someone who was like, "Oh wow, they killed him."
Yeah.
And we were both kind of like, if you see someone eat someone in a movie whole, like that's Jonah and the Whale, isn't it?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
not. They're
especially
not
if they're like kind of the protagonist already.
If he'd have been like chomped on, I would have been like, "Oh, that was awesome." But instead, he ends up in the belly of the beast. I'm like, I feel like the Predator world. That's I don't know if that's Predator to me. I want someone getting chopped up.
Yeah. I think. Just before we get to go on to that, I just want to say that even though I found his story kind of the weaker one, I do think that ship fight that he has with the Predator, with the grappling hook, was a really, really cool action beat. I think I really liked the way all of that was designed. I thought the action was really well choreographed and shot and directed throughout all three of these stories. Yeah. But I do think that by the time we get to the end, that it kind of lost a little bit. I think you're right in saying this kind of Marvelization, in that it kind of lost a little bit of like, what is Predator? It's a horror movie. It's an action horror movie. That's what the first Predator movie is. And it's like, I'm watching this and I'm like, yeah, no, it's animated, and they go pretty hardcore in some of the fight scenes, especially at the start, with a lot of the graphic violence and stuff. But then by the time I get to the end, I'm like, you can't be afraid to start killing off these three guys. You know, I mean, this isn't the type of movie where, I mean, obviously there's always one survivor, but like
all three of them
kind of survive.
Particularly when the Viking sacrifices herself and they just sort of apprehend her and take her back to the cryo freeze. I feel like that would have been the perfect moment for like an epic fucking Braveheart level decapitation.
Exactly. Like, definitely. I agree. And it was weird because I thought all three had really good action beats. And then I think by the time we got to that third story where they're all together, I feel like we should have felt like, oh man, like this is gonna be the big moment. And I felt like it never really. I felt a lot of confusion a lot of the time, like particularly with Bone Cape, we've called him, haven't we? Probably one of the coolest Predator designs.
One of the coolest capes of all time.
Of all time, yeah.
Awesome.
When they start fighting this guy, all of a sudden the Predator's lost any kind of like sort of ferociousness that we've seen in the other three, and whenever he's around him, he's walking over to him, he's just throwing them, he's not killing them immediately.
It's that classic Terminator problem, isn't it? Like the Terminator is a killing machine like the Predator that is efficient, and then suddenly when the protagonist is right up close, I'm just gonna like hold your head and I could crush it, or I'm gonna throw you.
Look, I don't mind a little bit of it, but it's like there was moments in this where I was like, you're taking the piss. Do you know what I mean? Like I'm not. Like you can come up with cleverer ways to beat around the fact that like, all right, he's not gonna kill him straight away. You know,
makes the Predators look weak. Also, another thing I think is the problem with this structure inherently is every movie the Predator needs to be built up as this threat and then eventually dispatched in an interesting way so they don't lose their like mystique. Whereas this, you're cycling through three Predators so quickly. Yeah. They're getting killed so quickly in each story that I think you're diminishing their strength.
Yes.
Like, within the first 20 minutes, one is dead. And then another 20 minutes, another one's dead. And it's like, you know, like Dutch and like, you know, Harrigan in 2, like they all spend like a full movie of one Predator learning their strengths and their weaknesses and going toe to toe with them. So like, to have them get dispatched so quickly, I think it's baked into the structure of it. Yes. Like they have to beat them so that we can get to the end.
Of course.
I understand you can't make this 4 hours, but I do think it has the side effect where I'm kind of like, oh, they killed 3 Predators pretty easily.
Yeah. So by the time we get to the end, like how much tension we have. I mean, although I do think you still can, at that point, build up some tension of like, especially at the end when they start throwing in all these other Predators and all these big monsters. I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah. This is a cool way to get around that. But then I still feel like they kind of handle it a bit too easy.
Well, I was just say I think they handle that the worst in the third part. Yeah. Because I do think that ship is particularly armoured up and unbeatable and way dwarfs all the World War ships. Yeah. And I did think like halfway through that sequence I was really enjoying it, but I was like, the way he's going to destroy the ship is going to have to be a bit of a stretch. Yeah. And it was. Whereas like all the other fight scenes is like, I can't believe they'll get a lucky strike stabbing the Predator and it's like, oh, it's wounded. Oh, like the best kill in terms of not diminishing the Predator aura was the first kill.
I agree.
When she ended up getting the arrow through the Predator's head, like that was cool. Yeah. Under the ice. But the third one, I think it's the best action sequence. I agree with you. Yeah. But the ending had to be a bit contrived. Also, like, I really don't need the stretch incredulity of like a character like climbing out of their plane and fixing something midway through. I'm like, it's cool visual, but like it's a big stretch. Yes. It's a big stretch.
I agree. Yeah. I mean, the reason I'd say I think it's the coolest action scene just because I think we'd never seen that before in a Predator movie, but I do I mean, obviously the other two were also very cool. Like they were great.
But we've seen Predators hand to hand.
Yeah, I think that was why I was getting at. Even though I found that sort of storyline the weakest in general, and like you said, it's very sort of contrived and stuff that he gets out, and it's like, okay, I don't know. I must say as well that as much as I liked this idea, this concept of like, oh, we go to the samurai era, we go to the Viking era, we go to the World War II, I just did find that it kind of really slowed the pace down a little bit. Like every time we reset, I felt like the movie kind of
you have to
lost
get
momentum.
invested in a new protagonist.
Yeah, I almost wonder if it could have benefited from like the story being more intertwined or cutting back and forth through each
It's interesting.
different era. I don't know. I just feel like having the reset just really kind of, I don't know, took the wind out, especially if there's a story that you don't particularly enjoy as much as the other one.
But this is why I wonder if it would have weirdly been better as a miniseries. Because if it's going to be on streaming anyway, maybe it would have been cool if you'd have had 4 consecutive weeks of Predator Killer of Killers.
Yeah.
This week, oh my god, we're like, it's ninjas versus predators.
Yeah.
Oh my god, this week it's in the Viking era, and then the reveal at the end of the 3rd episode. Oh my god, they're all together now.
Yeah.
That's the cliffhanger, and then the 4th episode is the tournament.
Yeah.
And you would have had just a little bit more time to flesh out the characters.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think maybe that
could have been it.
weirdly, because I love it when it is a film.
Same. Yeah.
Especially after all these like Disney Plus series and Marvel and Star Wars, I kind of want more films.
Yeah, same.
But in this particular case,
especially if it's animated as well.
Yeah.
I don't mind as much it being a series.
Yeah. But it's been a cool concept. It's cool to get, Predator's got his Spider-Verse now. That's kind of fun.
It's cool. And I'm very much happy that it exists.
Yeah.
And I think that I like what it tries to do. I think it's on the right track.
Yeah.
I just don't think it hits as hard as I think it could have.
Yeah, and I think people saying like, oh, it's potentially the best Predator film of all time, like, what are you smoking?
It's wild.
I think it's a solid 3 stars. And I think too often 3 stars is seen as like, you hated it. I'm like, no, 3 stars is a good movie. I just don't think it didn't amaze me. I didn't love any single character, and it didn't really surprise me. I feel like for those reasons, how can I really put it above 3 out of 5?
I agree. Like it's got some cool action beats and stuff, but like, how much did I feel attachment to these characters? How much did you make me feel in general? I don't know.
But it's by no stretch of the imagination bad. I mean,
no, it's not bad at all. No,
a pirate predator with no dreads and an eye patch in a predator gunship, and we get a full aerial battle with this predator.
Yeah, but I do think the biggest weakness for me in this movie is just that the final story, when they all come together, was kind of the weakest part for me.
Yeah,
and I think if you'd have really hit it home there, I think we'd be sitting here talking differently.
Yeah,
and I just think that the individual stories ended up being more interesting than them coming together, which should be the most interesting part. That was kind of the thing for me, and I feel like that could have stepped it up, but it does kind of go fizzle out a bit. But yeah, there's some cool ideas in that, even at the end. I mean, at the end they reveal that the prey.
Oh yes, I want to talk about this.
Yeah, the prey protagonist has been frozen by them as well, and they've got this kind of whole frozen of all these people that have.
It was a very end of Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Yeah, it was, wasn't it? It was. Yeah.
I think that's also. I think Dan Trachtenberg is so clever in that he knows what the audience want, and he'll give it to you to a degree if he feels like it's the right story. Like, case in point, everyone was like, Prey 2, Prey 2. Instead, he's gone, no, Badlands. But for those of you that wanted Prey 2, well, at the end of Killer of Killers, which again is its own idea, we reveal that the protagonist of Prey was cryogenically frozen. So the door is open for Killer of Killers 2 to have her teaming up with the protagonists of this film.
Yeah.
And because they're cryogenically freezing these protagonists from different eras is a great concept because we can always have them meet up in the present. But we could get Dutch and Harrigan one day.
Yeah, that's true.
And I do think doing them animated gives you a bit more leeway. Like Arnold and Danny Glover could voice their characters, and they don't have to be as old as they are in real life.
Yeah.
I think we've set sail on a live action Dutch return.
Yeah.
And I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I agree.
But Killer of Killers 2, I would be kind of into Dutch coming back and 100%. The protagonists from Prey and these protagonists. That would be cool.
And maybe a series, like you said. I think that could be like a really cool like concept. Especially like now you're saying it, I'm like, yeah, and having the tournament be the big build towards.
The only thing that's anti-tension of that is obviously Dutch would not only kill every other human, but also the entire predator race, one after the other, if they let him loose.
Yeah, of course.
A badass.
Still at his old age.
Oh yeah, old Dutch.
Yeah.
Give it to me.
It's over.
It's over. If the Predator had landed in Boston, it wouldn't have gone down like that. But yeah, that was Predator Killer of Killers. I think fun but flawed. Let us know what you think in the comments below. Huge thank you to Dr. Chike and Peter Vaughan for being my full fat patrons. Your contribution to keeping the channel running is immeasurable. If you'd like to join the Patreon for exclusive goodies, early releases of main videos, the podcast, video scripts, and a thank you in the credits, then please head on over to patreon.com/fullfatvideos to choose one of the paid tiers.